Good afternoon YouTube and welcome back to my channel. For today's video I'm going to be teaching you guys how to master the bunny hop on your mountain bike. Bunny hop is one of the most useful skills that you can learn on your mountain bike. It comes in so handy when you're out on the trail, riding street or skate park, or even riding dirt jumps. Not only that, it unlocks a whole new world of tricks and fun. So let's take a look at how your bike should be set up. You can actually do bunny hops on any type of bike, it doesn't really matter. However, it's much easier on something stiff, which is why today I'm out on my hardtail dirt jump bike. If you're riding a bike which has low tyre pressures and soft suspension, this is going to make the bunny hop difficult because it's going to absorb all your energy, making it difficult to lift the bike high. Whereas if you're on a bike which is stiff, hard suspension, hard tyres, every movement is very direct, and this has a positive impact on the bunny hop. This means that the ideal setup for learning bunny hops is on a bike which is stiff. So pump your rear shock up, pump your forks up, pump your tyres up. Finally, lower your seat because otherwise this is going to get in the way and make things very difficult. Let's move on to the first step. First thing that we're going to be learning is how to lift the front wheel off the ground, because without being able to do this, massive bunny hops are basically impossible. Find yourself a nice flat car park and ride along at a medium pace. Make sure that you've got some momentum. It's also really important to make sure that you're covering the rear brake, as this could stop you falling off the back of the bike. It's now time to lift the front wheel, so pull up on the handlebars, push your feet into the pedals and throw your weight backwards. This will lift the front wheel up. The best way to describe the putting your weight back is imagine you've come home from work after a long day and you just throw yourself back into the sofa. It's the same momentum backwards to get the front wheel in the air. It's important with this to start off gently, because if you pull really hard then you're just going to fall off the back of the bike. If that does happen, that's why we're covering the rear brake, because you can pull it and that will help bring the front wheel back down to the ground. You can actually get a feel for this motion before even riding the bike by putting one foot on the ground, pushing on the pedals and pulling on the handlebars like I am in the video. Now that you've got this dialed, it's time to move on to step number 2. Step number 2, now that we've learnt how to lift the front wheel off the ground, it's now time to get the rear wheel in the air. We're going to start off the same way as we finished on step 1, so with one foot on the ground, and what you're going to do is you're going to curl your toes, push back into the pedals, then lift. It's important to practice this stage on the floor, because if you have it dialed on the ground then you'll have no problems at all once you're on the bike. Now time to ride along at a medium pace and apply the same technique that you just learnt on the ground. So curl your toes, push them back and lift the rear of the bike. If you're struggling to lift it, then you can always lean forward slightly. Once you've got this dialed and you're comfortable, you might even want to start trying to lift the front wheel up at exactly the same time, so you're doing a little bunny hop, just getting familiar with lifting that bike off the ground. Step number 3, so you've got lifting the front wheel dialed, you've got lifting the rear wheel dialed. It's now time to combine these two together, perfect the timing and hopefully do a proper bunny hop. To start with, we need a slow to medium pace. Lift your front wheel to around 2 feet off the ground. Once it reaches this height, you're going to do the feet technique that you learnt to lift the rear wheel off the ground. At the same time all this is going on, you can transfer your weight from the back of the bike to central once again. As you can see, all that we've done is combine step 1 and step 2 with some timing. That creates the bunny hop. Height doesn't really matter too much at this stage, because all we are trying to do is perfect the motion and practice that timing so it becomes more natural. Step number 4, so your bike is now in the air, you're off the ground. What we need to try and aim for ideally is to have the bike level, so when you transfer your weight, make sure it's central, don't go too far over the front, that's completely forbidden. Spot your landing and then absorb your impact by bending your elbows and your knees. The ideal landing is 2 wheels together, but if you do land slightly rear wheel, that's also fine, because sometimes when you're bunny hopping really high or from big heights, it's better to absorb it through the rear wheel. There you have it, you've learned the bunny hop. The next thing we're going to do is take a look at how we can do massive ones and get some extra height. Before we look at how to do massive bunny hops, let's just do a quick overview on what we just learnt to make sure that we've got it dialed in. The first thing you need to do, ride along at a medium pace, practice lifting the front wheel by pulling on the handlebars and pushing on the pedals. Number 2, practice lifting the rear wheel by curling your toes, then pushing and lifting into the pedals. Step number 3, combine these 2 tricks whilst getting the timing and weight transfer perfect to master the bunny hop. Okay, so you now have the bunny hop technique dialed in. You want to progress and do massive, crazy, huge bunny hops. It's simple, it's basically just exaggerating the technique with more power and more aggression. However, it is important that you have it dialed, because once it's muscle memory, you can just do it more aggressively and lift up higher. Ride along at a faster pace than before, and when you lift the front wheel, lift it higher than before, pulling up harder on the handlebars. However, this time when you lift the bike, you're going to jump as high as you can, as if you was on the ground. When you go up, bring the bike with you, transfer your weight to the centre of the bike once again, and just try and tuck up, lift the bike as high as possible and make yourself as small as possible. On your way down, you need to extend your knees and elbows so they're ready to bend once again on impact and absorb the landing. If you do land tucked up, then it's going to be a really heavy impact, and it's quite likely that you might smash your face on either your stem or your knee. The main goal with big bunny hops is to try and lift the bike up as high as possible, so try and get the handlebars up above your head and get the seat as close to your bum as possible. In fact, it's quite common on big bunny hops for the seat to whack you up the backside, and that's why earlier we decided to run the seat lower, because when it's up, it just means you can't hop as high, it gets in the way. A little secret for you guys when doing big bunny hops: you can hang off the side of the bike. This will allow you to lift it up higher, because instead of hitting you up the bum, it'll be on the back of your leg or the back of your knee. If you can get into the position which I am on the screen, then you will know that it's a big bunny hop. Finally, it's really important to make sure that we put equal effort when lifting the front and the rear wheel. If you put more effort into lifting the front, then you're just going to do a really front wheel high bunny hop and potentially run the risk of falling flat onto your back. If you put more effort into lifting the rear wheel, then you are going to transfer your weight forward too quick and just do a massive nosedive. And this is where that timing is really important once again, because once you've got that figured out, it will just work perfectly. You now have the bunny hop super dialed, you're stoked, you've learnt a new trick and you're having good fun doing it. But it doesn't have to end there, because I'm going to show you 5 of my favourite bunny hop variations. First up, the bunny hop 180. Going backwards in the air, this trick feels sick. Number 2, the bunny hop bar spin, a technical variation, takes some practice, but it's very addictive once you learn it. Number 3, the bunny hop tail whip, the most difficult. It's going to take some practice, but it's definitely worth it because it's a showstopper. Number 4, bunny hopping onto objects. Once you've got the bunny hop dialed, you'll find when you're riding street, you'll just want to jump onto everything. This is really cool because it just unlocks a whole new world.
Yes. Oh my god. Oh my. I can't get down. Oh my god. Yeah. Woo.
Number 5, and last but not least, the bunny hop 360. It's all about timing and lifting the bike up. It's difficult to do it clean, but when you do, it feels insane. It's so sick. On that note, that is the end of the video. I hope that it's been helpful in teaching you guys to do bunny hops and maybe even some variations of the bunny hop. Leave some questions below, I'll try to respond to them all. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.